Welcome to another race preview. We got all three of the gentlemen here. I feel like it's been a while since we got all three heads on a video. We got Una Roca making her second career start over at Turfway Park on Thursday, January 8th, the year of our Lord 2026, the first race of the new year. Post time, way past my bedtime, 9:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live on the app still. I might be half asleep. I'll actually be in Fort Lauderdale for a bachelor party. Uh, we will break it down like we usually do. I'll give you the Una update. I talked to Tom in great length about her this prior weekend. And then we'll pass to Nick and Brian for their thoughts. Overall, Tom's not expecting much of a change from Una Roca. Said her willingness for her job has not changed at all, which is a good sign. Overall, positive things are she's, for the most part, very sound, can hold up the training. Her throat's good. So those are two things that you need in order to be a good racehorse. She kept her weight on after a race, better than he expected, actually. So that's a positive sign as well. She's still definitely growing, needs to build more strength behind, and that's really the cause for optimism, I think, coming from him, is that she's just one that needs to get a little bit stronger behind so that way she can finish her races like she really needs to. So overall, like, we are pretty happy with her going into this race. We decided to run her at the same conditions of the three-quarter of a mile race for the maiden claiming tag of 30K, just because, okay, we want to have a true data point to compare it to. If we started changing things like conditions or distance, it wouldn't be a good measuring stick to see if she took a step forward from a previous race. So for me, really what it comes down to is, does she take a step forward in terms of less so final time? I think comparing raw times isn't always the best, especially at a track like Turfway, where the wind's blowing and the track surface can be a little funky. I think more than anything, we're going to be leaning pretty hard on the speed figures. We've explained that before, whereas the raw final time converted to a score to compare. So for me, it's really about seeing progression in terms of her development as a racehorse. I asked Tom about distance. She's a big scopy, they call it, so she's long this way. um, so which typically means a horse that could carry some distance. He sees no reason why she couldn't get to two turns here in the near to distant future. He thinks it might be asking a little bit much right now, given her strength and her kind of needing to catch up a little bit to her growth. So overall, like, he thinks that she's kind of a one-paced horse, so maybe that distance in the future will help her. So overall, like, I'm not feeling super optimistic going in. I'm also not pessimistic. So realistically, like, I'd be very, very happy with her finishing anywhere on the board. So top three would be very, very happy. Obviously, if she wins, I'll jump for joy. But really, as long as she can put in a good run, continue to progress, continue to get educated in her races, I'd be very happy. What do you think here, Nick?
Yeah, I would say pretty similar to you. Hitting the board would be a massive bonus for us in this race. Obviously, a win would be even better. I think seeing that progression from Una Roca, her second career start, would be very nice. And just kind of keep that hope going. Even if it's not on Thursday that she gets her first win, look promising enough where we feel like that first win is coming up pretty soon.
For sure. Brian, what do you think? Any thoughts on Una, and then kind of take us into what you think of the competition?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how she does with Lasix. For those that don't know, it kind of opens up the airways is probably the simplest way to explain it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's they call it's a diuretic, so it makes you pee a lot, but also just flushes fluid. So what it does for a racehorse is it lowers their blood pressure and reduces the stress on their lungs. So there's a medical condition where if horses overexert themselves, they could hemorrhage and basically bleed out. Basically, their lungs get compressed, something like that. I'm not a doctor, not a vet. But overall, what the medicine does is it reduces the risk of that, reduces their blood pressure, and because it does that, it can give horses a performance enhancing effect. Tons of studies, hotly debated. Currently, within horse racing, Lasix is not allowed in stakes races, and it's not allowed for 2-year-olds, at least in HISA states. We'll leave it at that because there's a whole ball of wax around that.
So yeah, I mean, looking at the race, not a lot of experience being the younger maiden level claiming at Turfway. Uh, I mean, the outside post in a short race is never the most ideal spot to be in. So hopefully she can overcome that. Getting into kind of more the betting side of this, all a lot of the inside, what you would prefer in a short race like this. Horses 1 through 3 are all unraced, so just kind of wild cards out of there. I mean, we're opening up at 20 to 1, which is never great, but given her last performance, I think it's a justified morning number.
11
Um,
underdog.
yeah, the the odds on favor is gonna be right outside her, so maybe that'll give a good pace to see if that horse runs as well there as they're supposed to do. But in terms of slightly longer shots on the board, I kind of like the 7. So I think I might get a little exotic. 7, 8, 9, just disregard the inside. Turfway is it's a crap wheel. Like you don't no one really knows what's gonna
And
or
it's
roulette
maidens
wheel
too.
or craps.
Yep. So
Whatever
I think
one you want.
yeah, I think it's very fair. Overall, kind of what I'm thinking is, so jockey wise, so we're bouncing out of the 8 hole, so they'll have a full field of 12. There's two that are also eligible, so if there are two scratches, the 13 and 14 draw in. Una Roca will break from the 8 post. She's got Gabe Saez, the group's favorite jockey aboard. Previous in her previous race, she had Danny Sheehy aboard. Go listen to my podcast with Danny. He's a great young lad from Ireland that recently moved to the States to become a jockey. He's become Tom's first call for a lot of his races. So I haven't asked Tom point blank this, but I'm assuming that Danny jumped off of us. So I'm assuming he was given the option to ride Unaroka in this race and decided to go with a 9 horse to our outside that Brian mentioned, kind of is the morning line favorite here. And that horse is, a favorite for a good reason. Dropping in class, so going from a race where nobody could buy her and a maiden special weight, they call it, to a race where she's available for anybody that wants to take her for 30K. Her dad, Frosted, so the 9 horses dad, Frosted, he's a pretty good synthetic influence, which is the surface that we're running on here at Turfway. So overall, I think we have a fighter's chance. There's a lot of question marks here. Like Brian said, there's the 3 horse, the insider unraced. There's another one that's also unraced. So a third of the field's a big question mark. The rest of them are kind of eh. We're kind of feeling going in, but what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I would agree. I have some interest in the 13 if the 13 draws in. I thought the last race showed a little bit of speed. Obviously, it would be breaking from pretty far outside, but I don't think there's much other true speed in the race. Some of them have been forward, but I wouldn't say there's any like straight up speed demons or anything like that. So I think the 13 is a little interesting, and I thought the 7 and the 9 horse around as well.
Good deal. You guys got any bets in mind?
I would say if I would probably go if the 13 draws in, I'll play the 13 with us in there, and then the 9 horse as well. Little exact and try.
Oh yeah, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I think it just the 7, 8, 9, probably exact a box. Go with more proven runners. Have some hope in that. But yeah, the 9, I mean, it's the favorite. As you mentioned, dropping pretty far down in class. The last race was 100K maiden race at Turfway. Or I mean, she competed for most of the race.
Yep,
So we'll
I'm
see.
cur
Pretty
I'm
worried about
currently
her
on
on the outside.
weather.gov trying to figure out what the wind's gonna be like. I think a very hidden part of this all is it gets super windy out in Florence, Kentucky in the winter there. And if you're going a one-turn sprint, you gotta think about it. All right, if there's a headwind down the straight, what that means is like the horses are only coming around one time. So it's like you gotta kind of factor that into scenario too, in terms of, okay, if there's a headwind or a tailwind into the stretch, if there's a headwind that's really probably gonna help the horses that are on the lead because they have the wind to their back go down the back stretch, and then the horses that want to run into it have to run into the headwind at the end. Versus if there's a tailwind in the stretch, the leaders are running into the wind to start, and then those that are running, doing their best running late, kind of get the boost of the tailwind on the stretch. So that's something to definitely note down if you're betting turf way is maybe you just bet based on the wind because it's kind of a question mark anyways.
Yeah, I think that might be advanced analytics.
By
I don't
getting
know
to
what the,
two paralysis by analysis.
yeah, I don't know what the, aerodynamicy of a racehorse and jockey are. Maybe I thought you were gonna go a little F1, talk about drafting and get
Well,
maybe a little farther off course, but yeah, sounds good.
aerodynamics, bro. My last class at Clemson, was the last final I had was a project for interior aerodynamics. I built a little airplane.
Did it fly?
Never was made. Probably for the best. Any closing thoughts here, boys?
No,
No,
not
all
really.
good.
Just excited.
Yeah,
Get back in the starting gate. Kinda
back to the start.
have to stay up late for this one, so
It'd be fun. It's always exciting. The young horses are always exciting. Like Nick said, just the hope is to keep the hope alive. We kind of just hope to keep seeing her progress. Either way, I think she's one that we're gonna find a spot to get a win for. In terms of like next step, it's always about what's next in racing. I talked to Tom, and we're just gonna kind of monitor the situation, how she comes out of the race. If she comes out um, in good shape again without losing much weight, without, seeing too much wear for it. We'll likely press on with another race for her. If not, we'll combine heads with our other two partners and see if they're comfortable giving her some time off. Because I think that's something that may benefit her here. Is a little bit more time to grow into herself. So all things to monitor. We are looking forward to it. We'll continue to chase firsts here in the new year. I was not gonna say that as like a closing line now, but we wish everybody good luck and safe trips to all.